Hi, this is Wade from Our Last Enemy. Um, we've got a new EP, As Within, So Without, coming out shortly, and we're about to support Avatar from Sweden.
Yes, you are, my friend. Thanks for joining us.
Not a problem.
So your new EP that you've got coming out is called As Within, So Without. Now, I've just found out only just then that she was supposed to be dropped on August 18th, but she's been pushed back till September 22nd. Is everything all right?
Yeah, everything's fine. We thought it needed a bit more time in the oven to make sure that we get the release right. We've got a few things sort of coming out with it that weren't quite lining up. And we thought, it's a few extra weeks, won't hurt anything.
It's actually a whole new world like that these days, isn't it? Like before, you used to just record the album, then you just put it out. But now there's so much else to think about. You got to think about your marketing, your promotion, releases. It's not a fun game anymore, really, in some respects, is it?
No, not really. I mean, the other thing is you've got to try to line up shows around releases, and it's getting harder and harder for bands out there to find available venues. You don't want to clash with like the absolute torrent of international bands that are coming over, which I guess is lucky for us because managed to get on this show, which is going to be a massive one. But yeah, it's like the environment we're in, the venues closing, there are venues who just can't, I guess, afford to take a risk on a heavy metal night. It's just it's wild.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more about the EP from a musical point of view, bro, and what you were going for with it.
All right, so sorry, I just lost you for a second, but I guess from a musical perspective, it's sort of like the second part of the last EP that we released. Was sort of all written together. It was recorded together, and then the world fell apart. So it took a little bit longer to finish. So it's I guess there's a couple of I guess different sort of tracks on this one. They're sort of hard to explain. Like the final track is probably a bit more melodic than we're known for. The opening track actually has an acoustic intro, which you wouldn't expect from Our Last Enemy ever. But at the same time, it still sounds like Our Last Enemy. So we're just trying to broaden our horizons at the end of the day. I mean, the next one's already got some weird things going on, but that's a fair way off at this point.
We'll concentrate on this one for now.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing, you got to always look forward, don't you? It's just it's just how you got to do it.
One of those songs on the album, bro, Still Breathing, it also features a guest turn from CJ McMahon from Thy Art Is Murder, mate. So what was it like working on music with him?
Well, that was a funny one how that came about. So it turned out that our singer Ollie guested on one of CJ's old band's first releases when he was, I guess, bigger and more important than CJ was.
I know about big boy CJ.
Yeah, I know. But it was just like, in the Sydney scene at the time. So Ollie was like, oh, I should call in a favor. And yes, but CJ was awesome. It was just like, he was happy to help, happy to lay down some tracks, and just, it turned out pretty well. He fit the song really well.
Now, when you say Ollie called in a favour, like I'm sure the rest of you guys were going like, yeah, right, yeah, mate, that chance that happened. But when CJ actually said yes, like that would have been a bit of a buzz.
Oh yeah, for sure. We always hope that Ollie doesn't lie to us, but this time
he's a singer.
This time he came through. He's a pretty trustworthy guy most of the time. So we tend to believe him now when he has ideas.
He's got brag.
I mean, at the end of the day, like they've been friends for years, and it was just it was a good chance to get him on the release.
Yeah, cool. So the EP As Within, So Without, it's only got 5 songs on there, mate. So you've got a bit of time. Why don't you run us through each song individually and tell us a bit more about it? We'll start off with the first song was Hex Design.
Yeah, so Hex Design, that one you'll probably be hearing a little bit sooner than the rest. Not that I'm giving out any inside of what song's coming out next with a video or anything like that.
But it's out of that.
It's got an almost country. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a country vibe, I guess. It's a bit straightforward. It's not really that much of a. It's not like it's a country song or anything like that. But it just it's a bit of a party banger. We didn't try to think too hard on it and just wanted to get people up off the floor and moving.
Right.
That's the easiest way to describe that one.
And the next one you got is Bless the Fall.
Yeah, that one is probably one of the heaviest songs we've ever done. So to come after the party banger, it's yeah, basically blessing the apocalypse, which we've all sort of been through and we're coming back out of. But yeah, it's like a very, I guess you could almost say like Fear Factory Ministry style inspired track, but it's got a big sort of fist pumping chorus. That one's my personal favorite.
Right. And then we've got Still Breathing with CJ, which we've already spoken about. But after that, we've got Slave for Me, which was another one of the singles.
Yeah, so I guess, yeah, Slave for Me was another one where we decided just to see what came out, not worry about, letting a genre define us. There's even a trip hop bit in the middle of the song. It's just, yeah, a lot of different movie samples and whatever weird noises we can put in there. A lot of dissonant notes, but then also a big hooky chorus. So we're just sort of, we try not to stick too much within the box. We just see what comes out and hope that people dig it.
Oh.
Just, yeah.
As you do.
Yeah.
Now, I've never learned to speak French very well, mate, so I'll probably get this next one pronunciation wrong, but ad undas.
Yeah, well, so that's actually, yeah, it's Latin. But it means to the waves. That's the one where we get a bit atmospheric. I don't really want to give too much out about that one yet.
Right, yeah.
It's sort of you'll hear it when you hear it. It's different.
Well, moving on then, shall we say? You're John Sankey return on drums, mate. Like you can't miss his sound, can you?
No, it's just got that lots of double kicks. He likes them. A lot of massive fills. It's just the typical big drum sound.
Yeah, you could just tell it's Sankey on anything, eh? Like he sounds tough and Australian even when he's not speaking.
Yeah, exactly.
Your previous release, As Above, So Below, was a massive critical and commercial success, bro. So put any extra pressure on. No, you probably already recorded this one, so not on that side of it. But when it comes to releasing it, does it put more pressure on you?
Well, I guess it does in a way, because I guess we need to hope that people like it as much as the last one.
Yeah.
Personally, I like this one more, but I guess everyone always says that, don't they? Yeah. When they're releasing something new. But like at the end of the day, like I think it's like a yin and yang. They're both opposite sides of the coin, really. It's like, I mean, you're better off just having both of them.
Yeah. And when you say both opposite sides of the coin, we don't want people to get confused here. Like they both sound the same, but they're just different sides of your personality, aren't they? Yeah,
a little bit. Who knows? Like, I mean, if there's enough demand for it, maybe one day we'll do some sort of deluxe set with both of them. It's just really, I guess, they just go together. Yeah. It's the easiest way to describe it. Very similar sound, but also the songs are quite a bit different. I mean, I think the whole process for both of these when we were writing them was just not worried too much about does this sound like an Our Last Enemy song? It was just like do we like the song? Is this something that we enjoy to play as a band? And if that's the case, just go for it. Because I mean, otherwise you just sort of end up repeating the same thing, don't you? You sort of go through and you go, oh yeah, we've got our formula, let's do the formula. But this time around we sort of went, let's just not worry too much about that. We'll see what comes in. I mean, at the time, all this was written whether when I was joining the band as well. So I guess that changed it enough from previous releases. But it was just like, yeah, let's just see what comes out. And we're like I said, we're still pushing to not really sit in the single genre. I mean, it all falls under being heavy and loud and screamy, but
That's all.
it's like
that's all it should fit under though. Is heavy and loud and screamy. Who gives a fuck about subgenres and all that bullshit? Like,
oh, you'd be surprised.
people do, but I can't handle it.
But like, I feel like sometimes we sort of get into that lovely position where we're too heavy for the goths and we've got too many synths for the metalheads. So it's
You're the outcast.
yeah, and that's fine. Like, it's all a bit of fun. I mean, if you think about like how many synths does Slipknot have, there's a lot there. It's just all part of the giant pile of noise.
Take it off because you're looking at them, you're not looking at what they're doing. So they got the visual aspect that takes away from that. But you're right. So you mentioned this.
Yeah. Sorry, you cut out for a second there. I lost you.
I'll edit that bit out.
Yeah.
Now you brought this up before, but you've got a show with a little band called Avatar coming up who are making their way to Australia for the first time. And I interviewed mate yesterday, bro. I'd never even listened to them before, but I listened to it before the interview, and they are seriously fucking good, that band.
Yeah, I think it's another case of like European bands who aren't as well known here finally getting out here, but they deserve it. Like especially like, what is it? If you haven't listened to that song, Chimp Mosh Pit, it just goes off. Yeah, and it gets stuck in your head. And I mean, they've got one of their tracks I saw has got like millions of views on YouTube, like because they're massive over in Europe, but we're very far away.
Well, they've been actually called one of the world's greatest ever live bands. That's. I asked him about that, and he's pretty confident that they can pull it off. So.
Hey, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited enough I was going to be in the audience if I wasn't playing. So
there you go. You guys don't go too bad yourself either, bro. Like I caught you in Brisbane when you supported Powerman 5000. You guys hold your own pretty well.
Cheers. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. You have to try to make sure that when you play live, you don't want to sound too much like the CD. You want to just put it up to like 11. It's like you just try to get the sound as big as possible. I know when we supported Powerman, when our bass player was sound checking, people outside were thinking it was raining because it was shaking the entire venue, and that's when we know we got the sound right. Like you need to feel it in your chest.
Fuck yeah, brother! I'll drink to that any day. Now, before I let you go, we started up 3 new Spotify playlists through Heavy, and we're asking all the bands that we interview to give us one of their own songs for each playlist. So the first one is obvious, like the playlist, a song of yours to get you up ready to party. The second song is one that could save your marriage when you get home from partying. And the third one is a song that could potentially end your marriage at any time.
All right. Okay, so the first one, Get Up and Party, that would have to be 10,000 Headless Horses, which is off the first record.
Yep.
The one that might get you into trouble, probably Long Time Coming, get you into trouble.
Yep.
And then the one that would save your marriage, it really depends on. Actually, I'm going to have to switch this around. I think we have to put probably Never Coming Back as the one that will get you into trouble.
Yep.
And then the one that will save your marriage, I guess, put Still Breathing.
Oh, well, I got to personally check all them out myself and see if you're right or not.
I mean, I could be wrong. That was a very, that was definitely a question I wasn't prepared for.
Good. We aim to please. Beautiful. All right. Well, thanks very much for your time tonight, mate. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Your new EP, As Within, So Without, has been pushed back to September 22nd, but it's going to be worth the wait from what I've heard, bro. So best of luck with that, and best of luck with Avatar.
Thanks very much. I can't wait.